Hi everyone, welcome to Stampin' Up with Jaimie. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I appreciate it. I'm running a little bit behind, so I'm just going to quickly adhere my grid paper down so it doesn't go anywhere while I'm crafting. I have a really fun project with you tonight. I had this idea and I really wanted to do it, and I thought, could I do it? Can I figure out how to do this? I don't normally make cards like this. Cards that, I don't know, aren't straight up what they're supposed to be, I guess is how I would say that. But I had this idea and it was kind of nagging at me, and I figured I'm going to try it. And so sure enough, this weekend, I became very stubborn and I just kept at it and trying different things. And this was my final product. If you don't know what it is, because I've been asking my family members and whatnot, because I know what it is, because I had my vision. I knew where I was going with it, but I wasn't sure, everyone would be able to figure it out. It is like a post office box with letters that are being mailed. So I think this is really cute for a Valentine's Day card. For maybe your kids or someone you know. Could even be like a friend Valentine's Day card, because it's not too lovey-dovey. It's just kind of sending some happy love in the mail. So now here's the thing I'm going to tell you ahead of time is I made this once and I'm pretty sure I could replicate it. But I'm going to ask that you be patient with me because some of the measurements might be a little bit different and whatnot. So I ask for your patience, and we're going to just dive right in. And I think you're going to really like this card. I think you're going to want to replicate it. It's super fun and different. It's not something I normally create. I don't normally do these kinds of cards, but I think it's fun. Would you say, Terry? I know I am old enough to remember walking to the mailbox. Yes, they're still out there. I mean, I still see them. They're just not used as much. And I was kind of shocked. My oldest, my 14-year-old, had a friend over this weekend when I was working on the card. And I said, girls, do you know what this is? And they said, yeah, it's a mailbox. I thought, oh, well, if two 14-year-old girls can figure out this is a mailbox, then I'm probably good. I'm pretty sure that most people will be able to figure out what that is. So let's just dive in. And I will also say that I may be missing some things, mostly because I've been crafting a lot today. And also because right before I went live, I was teaching my daughter how to cross stitch, like literally up until like 5 minutes. So I'm a little like scattered right now. I was like scrambling to get everything together. So like I cannot find my bone folder anywhere. Did I throw it in here? I have no idea where it is. Okay, I'm gonna have to use a block. I don't know where my bone folder is. So my card is just a regular 4.5 by 4.25 by 5.5. So 4.25 by 11, scored at 5.5. So although it's got like kind of a fun design on the front, it'll fit in just your regular envelope, no problem. I have no idea what I did with I have no idea where my bone folder is right now. Anyways, okay. So then ahead of time, I took another panel of real red cardstock. This is 4.25 by 5.5. And I embossed it with the brick and mortar embossing folder. I knew I wanted to give it some extra texture, and I wasn't quite sure, like, what do I add? What embossing folder should I use? But I like the brick, with the mailbox. So that's what I went with. I already did that ahead of time, and I'm just going to adhere that down to my card front. Again, real red 4.25 by 5.5, just to add a little texture to the card. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, next let's just do all like this kind of tedious. Next I have a panel of Whisper White cardstock. Is this it? Yes. Okay. But this is, I don't even know what this measures, 3.5 by 4.75, and it's matted on a 1/8 bigger size of petal pink. So this is, let's see here, 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. And I just adhered that straight to my card, to the petal pink. How about like so? Yeah, that looks right. And then I'm not going to adhere that down quite yet, but that's ready to go. I'm going to set them aside. Now, here comes the fun part. Let's work on the mailbox. Again, I ask for your patience. This should come out pretty identical to how I did it this weekend, but some of the measurements might just be a little different. So, you're going to need, I'm using Misty Moonlight. I feel like it's kind of like a post office kind of color, I think it's kind of spot on, honestly. This is, I'm using 2.5 by 5.5. It's gonna stay 2.5. I may end up trimming it down a little bit, and I'm going to show you kind of how I'm going to do that. But you definitely need at least 2.5. I originally had a post office that was, I think it was like 3.5. I mean, the thing was ginormous. And that one went in the trash because it was way too big. So I found that like 2.5 was kind of a sweet spot for size-wise. Then I'm going to just trim the legs. Now let's see here if I can get my trimmer in here. Now, I don't know about you, but I always use my trimmer this way. My thing here is kind of to the right, and then my measurements are to the left. But I found it easier to use when I'm trimming the legs this way. So just bear with me because I kind of feel like everything's backwards right now. Let's see here. Did I cut them? I did cut them at 1/2. Okay. So I'm going to trim the legs each at 1/2 inch. So I'm going to find the 1/2 inch over here and go in. And I'm going to go up 1/2 inch. So if you see our little ruler here, our little, I don't know what this is called, the flappy part. The flappy part of the trimmer also has measurements on it. So I'm going to put my cardstock, I'm going to measure it 1/2 inch in. And then when I move my trimming blade up, I'm going to go to the 1/2 inch mark there as well. So go slowly because you can always cut deeper, but you can't uncut. Okay. Then I'm going to move my cardstock. I'm going to do the right leg, and I'm going to find that 1/2 inch now on the right. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go up 1/2 inch with my blade. Then I'm going to turn my cardstock around. I'm going to find that 1/2 inch again. And I'm going to make sure my blade goes down. So don't start with your blade super low. You're going to want to find that 1/2 inch here and get your blade lined up to it, so that when you push in, and then you're going to go up to the 2 inch mark, or until it kind of clicks, and then you get these legs. Okay, so they're each 1/2 inch, like 1/2 inch squares, the little legs. And I think that's it for the trimmer. No, it might not be it for the trimmer. We'll have to see. Okay, so next, oops, I apologize for that. I'm going to create the top of my mailbox. So you're going to want to use the layering ovals dies. These are key. Okay, so this is the old packaging. But they're still in the annual catalog, and I'm using the oval that measures, it's a little bigger than 2 3/4. Okay, that's the oval I'm using. And I'm going to slide it in so that the top part is the only part that gets cut. Now this is where I can kind of figure out height-wise. Let's see here. I'm about 1 1/4 inches. So from here to the top is about 1 1/4 inches. If you have more space, it is easier to kind of play with this die. And what I'm going to do again, so I kind of have it in, and you want the die cutting part at the top. Okay. And this other part is just kind of hanging out in the back. And I'm going to run it through my die cutting machine halfway through, just enough so that it cuts the curve. So I get this curved, but I don't really want it to make an impression. This won't cut down here, but it will like emboss it. Okay. So if I were to like completely run this through the machine, I would cut it out, but then I'd have a big embossed mark down here, which isn't the end of the world. So if you do that, I don't think it's going to make a difference. Honestly, you'd only kind of see it in the edges here. But ideally, you're going to run it through and only run it through about halfway through. I hope that makes sense. So let me do it off camera here, and hopefully this works. Okay, let me take it out. And And it did. There you go. Okay, so that's your result, is that you only get the top part of it cuts off and not the bottom. It does kind of, I mean, if you go down a little bit, it did emboss just a little bit there, but gosh, I don't think anyone's going to notice that, quite honestly. So that's pretty much, it might be a smidge taller than my sample one here. But for the most part, it is spot on for size. Okay, next I'm using Seaside Spray, and I have a square that measures 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. Hi, Marty from Florida. Are you enjoying some, although I heard you guys have like a cold front right now. I was going to say, are you enjoying the nice weather? But I think I saw that you guys are having a cold front. Okay, so 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. It's going to go right on the front here. You know, I think I'm going to go a little bit higher than I did for my sample just because I made it a little bit taller, this one. We're going to call that. And then I have a panel of, let's see here, it's got to go this way. Nope, it's got to go this way. So this is 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. And then I have another panel of Seaside Spray, which is 2, let's see here if I can get it right. It's 2 1/8 by 1 7/8. This one doesn't really matter. This is the width of it is the one that matters. So 2 1/8 is what you want to aim for. It could be super high up. It doesn't really matter because we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to put my, this one here. I'm going to take another oval. This one is, I think it's the next size smallest. So it measures, just about 2.5 inches long. This is the 2.5 inches oval. And this is 2 1/8. So it had to be, I originally had this 2 1/4, but it was a little too wide. I had to trim it just a little bit. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to kind of put it in. Okay, my paper is in the die, literally in the die. And, but I'm only going to have it cut the top of it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is kind of keep it like this. And again, you could roll it all the way through. It would cut the top and emboss the bottom, but that's not quite the look we're going for. Although if you oops and you do it, it's not the end of the world. But I'm going to run it through my die cutting machine. Okay, just so it cuts just about halfway through here. And then once so I'm not cranking it all the way through, I guess is what I'm saying. I'm only going, about halfway or until I kind of see that it passes that. And then I'm going to just unwind it, so to speak. So I'm not going to go all the way through, just enough so it cuts that top part. No problem, Marty. I knew what you meant. No worries. No worries. Okay, so let me run this through. And I go really slowly. When I start cranking, when I hit the paper, I really slow down and make sure it goes slowly. So that's what you end up with. Now, this is where I said you could kind of play with it because obviously this is way too big, like ginormous. So I'm just going to trim that a little bit. But you get the idea that if you want it like this space longer, then you just leave it longer. You really can kind of play with your measurements a little bit and adjust it, you know, to the measurements that you're looking for. So let me just get my trimmer here. And let's gauge how much I'm going to trim off this thing. I think I'm going to trim it a little bit. Probably, I'm going to go maybe 3/4. Let me see what 3/4 looks like here. Let's go 3/4. I hope I don't regret this. It might end up being now the opposite, too short. Oh no, we're good. Okay, so I ended up trimming that 3/4. It's a little longer than this one, which is fine because I actually, in hindsight, after I did this one, I was like, oh, I wish that top part was a little longer. So, oh, I just realized something. Mission accomplished. Okay, hold on. Let's see if I can pull this off. I forgot to do my little slit. If not, I'm going to just cut another one. Come on, come on, come on. Hold on. I think I can get it off if I'm gentle. There we go. Okay, so I totally forgot to do our little slit for the mailbox. Should I cut another piece? Because now this is sticky. Hold on, let me cut another piece of, what's that called? Seaside Spray. Sorry about that. I totally forgot about my little slits there. So here we go. We're just going to cut it again. 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. Okay, I totally forgot to do the mailbox slits. So I have the mail box, the mail is actually like in a little slit there. So I'm going to put it in about 1/2 inch again. Did I put it 1/2 inch? Actually, it looks a little longer. Let's go 3/4. Actually, I gotta turn it around. See, how do you do your trimmer? I'd love to know. I always have my trimmer, so like my thing's kind of towards the right. But when you're using this, it's on this side, so I feel like you have to do it. I have to do it backwards. Okay, so I'm going to put my cardstock 3/4 in now. Let me get my blade. 3/4 of the way in, so I'm finding the 3/4 mark on the left side. Okay, and I'm gonna start my blade again 1/2 inch in. So my blade, I haven't pushed it down yet. I'm lining it up. There's my 1/2 inch mark with a little dash on my trimmer. And I'm just gonna line it up and then push it into the cardstock and then go up. Let's see here. I'm gonna go up to 1 3/4. Is that 1/2 inch? I think so. Let's see. Does that look right? Yeah, that looks right. Yep. Okay, so I went up. That time I went from 1/2 inch up. I started at 1/2 inch and then I went up to 1 3/4. That's how you use it, Karen? I never use it that way. I think it depends if you are left-handed or right-handed. Oh, how do you use it, Roz? And are you left-handed or right-handed? I'd be curious. I'm right-handed, and so I tend to, yeah, I guess I use it on the right side. Are you left-handed then, Karen? I wonder if you're left-handed. Okay, so let's do this again. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of pop that up a little bit. And then let's glue this down again. Deja vu, didn't we just do this? We did. Your extension arm is always on the left. Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too, Terry. That's how I usually have it. But if you're gonna use the grid on, like the grid on the arm, I find like you have to have it this way. Cause I don't know, maybe not. Unless you go from the top. See, I always cut from the bottom. I always like measure up down here. But if you were to cut from the top, I guess that would be fine. I don't know. Whatever way works for you, I guess, is how you should use it. Oh, no problem, Karen. Thank you for joining. I'm so glad you're here. You're right-handed, huh? Interesting. You're ambidextrous. No kidding. Oh, okay. My dad's the same way, Roz. He does like all of his sports and whatever, he plays left-handed, but he writes righty. So we always thought that maybe that was the same thing for him. Okay, so I already cut this out. This one I am just going to adhere to the top. I don't have to make any slits or redo it. Okay, so like that. Okay, we're getting there. It's so cute, isn't it? Now let's do our mail. I need a piece. Hold on, I forgot to get a piece of scrap. Okay, that will do. A scrap of basic white. Although I'm still using Whisper White, don't tell anyone. I'm using up my stash. Thanks, Linda. Oh, that's so funny, Roz. That's hysterical. That's really, really funny. Okay, so for these envelopes, these are so cute because they're so I'm using the Snailed It stamp set, both for the Happy Mail sentiment and for the little envelopes. It's so cute. And they have their own die, which is even fun. So, Memento Black ink, I'm gonna stamp it twice. You don't have to stamp up the whole part, just the bottom, because we're just using the envelopes. Like that. And then give it a second to dry. And I'm going to use my Real Red Stampin' Blends to color in one and my Petal Pink Stampin' Blends to color in the other one. So we're gonna start with my light Real Red. Now this is really easy. This is literally just covering it. I try not to go over the heart. I'm actually gonna go over it in black. I'll show you that in a second, just to make it like super dark. Okay, do this little side. Again, this is the brush stroke of the Stampin' Blends, the light one. You mean you didn't fussy cut out the envelopes? Oh my goodness, Karen, I would. I totally would fussy cut. Now I just kind of want to fussy cut them out since you said it. You know, I haven't fussy cut in a while. It's so funny. I find like I go through phases where I'm like, I fussy cut everything in sight, and then I don't fussy cut for a while. Now you are. Now you're doing all the fussy cutting. Okay, so that's the real red. Then the petal pink. And that's so funny because I saw the die that coordinates with this envelope and I was like, what does that go to? I'm like, there's nothing with that size or shape to it. And then I realized, oh, it's part of the sentiment. Okay, that's the light petal pink. Now we're just gonna come and give some low lights to it. Oops. Yeah, I agree, Christy. I don't mind fussy cutting. I didn't like it in the beginning, but I feel like the more you practice it, the easier it gets, and I do find it therapeutic. I agree. Yep. Okay, so, wow, I wish you could see my desk. There is stuff everywhere. Oh, I forgot to do this. So I did take the dark basic black, and I did color over the heart just to make it a little darker because I wanted to. That's why I did it. Okay. Now, I'm going to use the snail dies, and I will tell you that in the snail dies, there's this really, really ridiculously cute, I already emptied my trash bin. This makes an envelope. Yeah, I don't have it here anymore. This makes like a 3D envelope that like kind of folds together, and then this can make like a note to go inside. But I found it was huge. I did make one, but it like took up the entire mailbox. It was like an envelope on steroids. I mean, the thing was gigantic. So I thought, let's not do that. So this guy here, this one looks like it goes to nothing, is the one that actually fits this envelope, which is super fun. That I don't have to fussy cut it, Karen, although I wouldn't mind. Yeah, I agree, Ross. Like, I will, if there's a die, I will use it, of course, always. But if not, I don't mind fussy cutting. I feel like it's a challenge, like yes, challenge accepted. I will fussy cut this some way, somehow. Like the one last year, like the bird paper, I love to fussy cut out those because those were super intricate, and I was like determined. Oh, I know, Jillian. I know. Oh, I wish I hadn't gotten rid of it. I made a whole, I made one of them, but then I realized it was too big, so I didn't use it, and I don't have it anymore. But that envelope is super cute. Okay, so there's our 2 envelopes, and I'm just going to, let's see here, where's my tear and tape? That's what I want to use. So I'm going to use a little tear and tape to adhere them down. This stuff is amazing. I love this adhesive. I feel like it doesn't get enough, I don't know, whatever that word is. I feel like it doesn't get the voice in the world of adhesives because it's just really, really great. And I use it a lot, actually. I really do. Except you have to make sure it's really stuck down before you even attempt to peel it off because it's not going to work. Okay, so here's the thing. When I did this, I hadn't adhered this down yet, which was probably the thing to do and not what I did. So if you're making this, oops, I dropped it. Don't do as I did. Put your envelopes in before you glue it down, because it'll be easier to get them in there and not have to use scissors to hold it open. Okay, so peel this one if I can get it. Nope. You gotta really make sure it's adhered or else it just keeps coming up. There we go. Okay. And then this one I kind of have hanging out a little bit more, but still kind of poking through like that. Oh, it's so cute. It's so cute. I love it so much. Okay, what did I do? Here they are. Then I took my matte black dots. Don't mind how weird they look. This is the result. This is the end result of my product share. And I took there's 2 sizes, like large and small, and I have the small ones, and I just put one of each of the small ones in the 4 corners because I liked it and I thought that was cute. 1, 2, 3, Whoops, did that one not get its adhesive? There we go. 4. Okay, set that aside. Come on, oh, I can't get it. There we go. Now let's do the sentiment. So I have a piece of Whisper White here, and here's the thing. You could attempt, to, although it's not definitely the easiest route to go, to cut this and then try and stamp the happy mail in there. But I find when you're working with a really small sentiment like that, especially one in this case that is like part of a larger stamp, that just to stamp it and then trim around it. So the happy mail is part of that same one that I just stuck with it. The same one that the envelope comes from. So all I did, you could do a couple things. You could do the washi tape technique where you just kind of mark off everything that you don't want to ink up and then you just ink up the words. But honestly, I'm going with the technique where you just color in what you want to stamp with a Stampin' Right marker. So this is the Real Red Stampin' Right marker. And I just want the happy mail. Although there's a kitty cat hair there, I can see it. So go over it with your marker like that. Whoops, nope, we're good. And then, this sounds weird, but like breathe on it, like warm air. And then stamp it down. Now, again, I'm sure I'm not going to be straight or whatever, but I'm going to just trim it. I'm going to make it work. Okay, perfect. Actually, that's not that bad straight-wise. Okay, let me get my trimmer again. This trimmer's getting its workout today. And I'm just going to trim it down. I don't even know what size it's going to end up being. I'm just kind of cutting as it looks nice, as it looks pretty. I can give you the final measurement, but honestly, when you're working with a small sentiment, I always find that doing this, I think that cut that one a lot smaller than the other one. Does it look bad? I like the other one longer. I may cut it. I may do it again. Oh, I like the other one better. Okay, we got to do it again. Sorry. That was sample number 1. Now we're going to do sample number 2. I like it with a wider, what's that called? Like cardstock underneath it. So we're going to do it again. I showed you how to do it once, and then we'll do it again. Ink it up like that. Just color it in, color in the letters that you want. Okay, set everything, and then blow hot air on it. That sounds so weird. Stamping can be so weird sometimes, honestly. Stamp it down. That's pretty straight too. Oh my goodness. I think I should go play the lottery or something. I don't know, cling stamp. I rarely get it straight like the first time. So, okay, now that's way too big. I went from one extreme to the next. Let's see. Maybe trim it like a 1/2 inch on either side. Let's see. We're going to try starting with a 1/2 inch. We can always trim more. Whoops. Whoops. Can't pick it up. 1/2 inch. Oh my goodness. Tell me this isn't too short again. No, I think we're going to be good. Can you imagine? Do it again. It's still too short. Let's try it. Yep, I think it's a little longer than my sample one, but I like it. So it ends up being, oh, it's about, gosh, it's like 5/8 by 1 3/4 if you're looking to measure that and then stamp. Oops. And I'm going to adhere it down with Stampin' Dimensionals. 1, 2. I know, right, Karen? Super straight twice. And it was cling. I wasn't even trying to go straight. Gosh. And then when I try to go straight, it goes crooked. I feel like it's always the way it is, right? Okay, so there's that. Okay, from here, I'm going to adhere it onto our Whisper White that we have ready, because when I do the hearts, I kind of want them coming up and out. So I'm not going to do that. I am going to use liquid glue. There's too much, there's too much on the front. It's all like wobbling all over the place. So let's not do that. Let's use glue. Okay. So I want it not completely center. I want it like a little lower so that I can get the hearts kind of coming out the top of it as well. Okay. Should we go ahead? No, let's not do that yet. Okay. For these hearts, these are super, super fun. Oh my goodness, I love them so much. So they come from the, did I put it away? No, I didn't. Here it is. The Be Mine dies. Now, again, these have been around for a little bit. Did I put it away? There it is. Okay. You want to look at it? Look, this is what they look like for me. I mean, that's how much I've used them. So in the Be Mine dies, among amazing other dies, there's this really fun cluster of hearts. And it cuts out this outline of hearts, but you also get a ton of little hearts. So I ran that through. Let me show you what we got. This is, not all of them are hearts. Some of them are like the inside pieces that just need to be thrown away. And you get all these hearts. And they're all different sizes. That's what I really love about it, is that you get different sizes. So if you don't have the Be Mine dies, in the snail die, so the same one that we used for the snail, there is a one size heart. And actually that's the one I first started using, and I started cutting. There's actually two, so you can cut two out at a time. And then I remembered the Be Mine, and I really like the Be Mine ones because they're all different sizes. And so I really like that about it. So this one I want to prop up a little bit so I can get some carts. And then I used, where is, here it is. Is Karen still on? I used her like pick tool here because I kind of wanted them in sort of particular spots, and they're so tiny to hold on to. So I'm going to try and sort of replicate what I did because I kind of liked how it turned out. But this, I'm sure this is going to look a little different. So just grab different sized hearts. Again, real red and petal pink. I cut them out in. Oh no, your grandson kept finding them all over the floor. That's funny. Yeah, they do have a tendency to grow. That is for sure. They're everywhere. I'm sure they're all over my floor and everywhere. But they're so fun. I just think it's really fun that you get different sizes. I know, Karen. They came in really handy for this because I was trying to glue these hearts down and I'm like, this is for the birds. I was trying to like hold them with my fingers and, well, it just wasn't happening. I'm like, oh, the tweezers. Thanks, Denise. Thanks so much, everyone, for watching and joining me tonight. I appreciate it. I'm just kind of varying hearts. I'm sure I could be putting a little bit more thought, and I'm probably going to go back and, like, I don't like that dead space there. But I don't know, there's no rhyme or reason to where I'm putting these or why or how. So just a reminder that I do have my Sweet Creations event sort of coming up. I mean, gosh, it's still like over a month away, but I have been working on it. I worked on something today, this afternoon, and it is really cute. It's one of the gifts that everyone's going to be receiving as part of the package. You're going to get $25 of product. And then in addition to the $25 worth of product, you're going to get 4, I'm calling them pillow gifts, although there's no pillow involved. We're not staying anywhere. So they're not really pillow gifts, but I'm calling them pillow gifts. And you're also going to get 3 make and takes that we're going to do. So there'll be live stamping. We're going to put the make and takes together, and it's just going to be so much fun. There's prizes, and I have different challenges, so lots of ways that you can earn free goodies on top of everything you get in your event pack. And it's just going to be so much fun. I've been working on it, and I just can't wait. I wish it was this weekend, honestly. So all the details are up on my blog. It's called the Sweet Creations event. The cost is $50. That does include the make and takes, the $25 worth of product. What else does it include? It includes the 4 pillow gifts, even though they're not really pillow gifts. And then just $12.50 for shipping. So I have to send it out big priority mail because you're going to be getting so much stuff. That's the cheapest way to mail it. So yeah, I hope you can join me. All the details are up on my blog, and feel free to reach out. I've had a couple people reach out asking different questions. So let me know if you have any questions, and I'd be happy to answer them. So I am definitely going heart ballistic here. This is definitely more hearts than I had. I think it's a little lower because obviously I didn't need as many hearts over there. And this one, I didn't realize it, but I did glue down the mailbox using Stampin' Dimensionals. This one I didn't. So it may look a little different because of that. I think I'm gonna do one more. I'm gonna try and tuck it under. We'll see if I can do it. Do you have to watch it live, or can you replay it another day? You can totally replay it another day, Tammy. There's gonna be, it's mostly gonna be on Facebook in a private group. And then there's going to be 3 live sessions, one Friday night, and then one Saturday afternoon and one Saturday evening. And that's when we're going to do the make and takes. I'm going to announce the different prize. One of them we're going to play bingo, I think the afternoon one on Saturday. So if you aren't able to catch them live, I will be videoing them, or recording them, excuse me, on YouTube, and then uploading them so that after, at your leisure, at your convenience, you can go in and watch the live demonstrations. The party will be, the group will be open, so you can still participate like in the different activities, you know, over the course of the weekend when you have the availability. The only thing that would be a little impossible actually is if you missed like the live bingo, right? That would be like one thing that you kind of have to be in the live video in order to win the bingo. But other than that, like the live card making and whatever else, you can watch afterwards and you won't miss anything. So I hope that answers your question. Oh, thanks, Lynn. I'm so glad you like it. I had this vision and I'm like, I just want to do a post office box. And here's the thing. I am really stubborn. I just am. I'm stubborn, which, you know, has its negative things to it, but it also can kind of work in your favor because I was determined to figure this out. And I love how it came out. I think it's a really cute Valentine's card. Something different, right? So I did do the inside because I'm starting to do the inside now. You'd be very proud of me. So let me just, I think my cardstock fell. Where'd it go? Oh, I'm just going to cut another one. I don't know where it went. Oh, there it is. I'm like, I saw it fall, but I don't know where it went. Yeah, right in the car. Okay, so for the inside, I used the Posted For You stamp set, the Sending Love Your Way, because I don't know, it's so cute. You could use any of these. Well, actually, these don't really necessarily have, you could do a hello on the inside, but I just love the fact that it says sending love your way. I mean, we're mailing, we're putting Valentine's in the, I don't know. That's where my brain went. I thought it worked really cute, and so that's what we went with. So when I am mounting on my cling, if I'm mounting cling on a clear block, say that 10 times fast, it can be a little tricky to try and get it lined up, right? So I'm just cleaning it. Whoops. Okay, so what I do usually, and it doesn't always, not completely foolproof, but it does work generally. So I line up my block to one of my grid paper lines. Now, if you've watched my videos before, you know I'm a huge fan of our grid paper. I think everybody should have it. It's a huge asset. Could really be used for a number of different ways. But, so I line up my block to one of the grid papers, and then I find another line that's kind of like going through the block. And I try and, again, it doesn't always work perfectly, but I try and imagine the line that's going underneath my sentiment and try and line it up to that line. So this line that's running underneath my block. I hope that makes sense. Let's just look at it for a second. I think that's pretty spot on. Again, it doesn't work 100% of the time, but it gets you pretty close. So, sentiment, I'm going to stamp in the real red. Now, if you've been watching and you would like a chance to win tonight's card, just make sure you've like made some sort of a comment, placed a comment. It could be an emoji, it doesn't have to be saying anything. As soon as I'm done here, I'm going to put all the names in a hat and then draw one lucky winner. to win tonight's cards. So, I don't, too low. I may have the sentiment straight, but trying to keep my block straight is another challenge. Let's see. If not, we're going to flip it over and do the other side. Oh, that's pretty spot on. I love when it works. It's frustrating when you're like, do this, and then it doesn't work. But that time it worked. Okay, so I have all these extra hearts. I mean, my goodness, you could decorate the envelope. You can make a ton of these and put them in the card so that when they open, all the hearts fall out and make like confetti. How fun would that be? I'm sure the person wouldn't really appreciate it very much, but I think that would be so fun. Anyways, I'm going to just adhere a couple of them next to the sentiment. A petal pink one, and then a smaller, do I have a smaller real red? I do. There's a couple of these really small ones. There's that one, and that one's even smaller yet. 3 for 3 tonight. I know, I feel like I should go play the lottery, Karen. Goodness. I just think it's funny that sometimes when I want to go straight, it's like, I'm like all crooked and I can't get it right for the life of me. And then I'm like, yeah, whatever. And I get it. Anyways, so funny. Wouldn't that be fun, Denise, to make confetti? Like a whole bunch of this, just put it in the card and then person opens it and it goes everywhere. I would really find that humorous. Oh, thanks, Tammy. I'm so glad. I just try and have fun in my videos, right? That's what this is. No stress. This is supposed to be fun. Okay, so I'm just going to adhere then. Oh, sorry, I don't think I said it, but my inside, this panel here is for, what is it? 4 by 5 1/4. Sorry, I don't think I said that measurement. I'm trying to get better about mentioning measurements, but I'm not always good about it. So if I forget a measurement, feel free to be like, hey, what was that? Yes, that would be fun, but not fun to clean up. Yeah, you'd have to definitely do it with someone that has a good sense of humor. I wouldn't necessarily send confetti to someone that has their house pristine clean. I'm gonna send it to you then, Amy. You're going to be hesitant to open the next card I send you. Too funny. Okay, everyone. So that's a wrap for tonight's card. Again, if you'd like a chance to win it, be sure to make a comment in the comment section or an emoji or something. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Please let me know if you have any questions. You can find all the product for this over on my shop. If you head to jaimieb.com, so you have to spell my name right. It's JAIMIEB.com. B as in boy. You'll find the link to my blog, the link to shop, a link in Facebook, and everything that you need. So that's kind of like my golden link. So thank you, everyone, for joining me tonight. I hope you had fun watching. I certainly had a blast, and I will catch you next week. Bye-bye, everyone.